Let's now take a look on exercise 2, which is on page number 54. A part of it says 2487 divided by 3. Now kids, here again we are going to repeat the same process, but we have different numbers. Here the dividend is 2487 and the divisor is 3. So here we have to look for table of 3. The first digit which we will divide by 3 is 2. But 2 is smaller than 3. So we cannot divide 2 with 3. So we will simply bring down the next digit, which is 4. Now it makes the number 24. And we know that we have 24 in table of 3 at 8. So we will write 8 in the quotient and 24 under this 24. So 24 minus 24 will give us 0. Now we will look for the next digit in our dividend, which is 8. So let's bring down this 8. So now we have a smaller number than 8 in table of 3, which is 6. And we get 6 at 3 twos are. Right? So we will write 2 in the quotient and 6 under this 8, and we will subtract. So 8 minus 6 will give us 2. Now we will look for the next digit in the dividend, which is 7. So now this number becomes 27. And we know that we have 27 in table of 3 at 9. So we will write 9 in our quotient and we will write 27 under this 27 and we will subtract. So we get the difference as 0. And now we do not have anything remained in our dividend to divide with 3. So that means we have divided 2487 with 3 completely. So this gives us our final answer as quotient is 829 and remainder is 0. So you may simply say that the answer of division of 2487 and 3 is 829. Let's now take a look on E part of this exercise. It says 6179 divided by 9. Now kids, here the dividend is 6179 and the divisor is 9. So we have to write the table of 9 in order to divide this number with 9, right? So now let's take a look on the extreme left of this number, which is 6. Kids, we know that 6 is smaller than 9, so we cannot divide this 6 alone, right? And we know that the smaller number than 6 in table of 9 is 0, which comes at 0. So we can skip this step here and we can directly look for the next digit in our dividend, which is 1. So now our number becomes 61. And the smaller number than 61 in table of 9 is 54, which comes at 6. So we will write 6 in the quotient and we will subtract 54 from 61, which gives us 7 as remainder, right? We will now look for the next digit in our dividend, which is 7. Let's bring down the 7. Now our number becomes 77, right? Now we know that 72 is the number in table of 9, which is smaller than 77, and it comes at 8. So we will write 8 in the quotient and 72 we will subtract from 77, which will give us 5 as the difference here, right? Now let's look for the next digit in the dividend, which is 9. So let's bring down this 9 and the number becomes 59. Now kids, we have 54 at 6 in table of 9. So we will write 6 in the quotient and we will subtract 54 from 59, which gives us 5 as the difference. Now we do not have anything left in the dividend and this 5 is smaller than our divisor, which is 9. So we have to stop our division here and this will give us 5 as the remainder. So we can say that the final answer of our division is quotient is 686 and remainder is 5. Kids, let's now take a look on exercise 3, which is at page number 55. We will be discussing question 1. Let's discuss B part of it. It says 4,000 divided by 5. So here 4,000 is the dividend and 5 is the divisor. Now kids, when we will divide 4,000 with 5, you may observe that the digit at the extreme left, that means at the highest place, is smaller than this divisor, right? So we will take next digit along with it. So now the number becomes 40 and we know that we have 40 in table of 5 at 8. So write 8 in the quotient and 40 under this 40. So the subtraction will give us the difference as 0. Now you may observe that the next digit is 0. Let's bring down this 0 here. And we know that 0 comes in table of 5 at 0. So write 0 in the quotient and we will subtract 0 from this 0. 0 minus 0 is 0. Now moving to the next digit in the dividend, we get 0 here, right? So again we know that 5 zeros are 0. So we will write 0 in the quotient and we will subtract 0 from this 0, which will give us 0 again. Now we do not have anything left in the dividend to divide, right? So here the final answer comes out to be 800 with remainder 0. Now kids, whenever we are left with zeros in the dividend in the end after division, we use those zeros as it is in the quotient. Here, after dividing this 40 with 5, we are left with 2 zeros in the dividend. So we may either divide it with the long process like this, or we may simply use these 2 zeros directly in the quotient. Let's now take a look on D part of question 1, which says 6,335 divided by 7. So in this case, 6,335 is the dividend and 7 is the divisor. Now kids, when we'll start dividing these numbers, we can observe that 6 is smaller than 7, right? So we cannot divide 6 alone with 7. So we will take the next digit with it, which is 3. So the number becomes 63 now. And we know that number 63 comes in table of 7 at 9, right? So we'll write 9 in the quotient and we will subtract 63 from 63. So the difference comes out to be 0. Now let's move to the next digit in dividend, which is 3. Let's bring down this 3. Now kids, here again, this digit 3 is smaller than the divisor, which is 7. So the number smaller than 3 in table of 7 is 0, which comes at 0. So what we will do, we will just write 0 in the quotient and we will subtract 0 from this 3, which will give us 3 as the difference, and we will move to the next digit in the dividend, which is 5. Now let's bring down this 5 and now our number becomes 35, and we know that we have 35 in table of 7 at 5. So we will write 5 in the quotient and we will subtract 35 from 35, which will give us 0 as the difference. And kids, now here we do not have anything left in the dividend. So that means 0 is the remainder in this case. So the final answer is quotient is 905 and remainder is 0. I hope you have got the concept.